Whoa! What? Wait, back up, back up, back up. This, it's like long and narrow and doesn't look very deep. Okay, so I'm looking at this going, it's probably 10 feet long, maybe 12. I'm going to say a foot tall and maybe 18 inches wide. So let's make it easy and call it a 10 by 1 by 1. Definitely interesting dimensions. This thing is stuffed full of rose bubble tips here down on the end, which is cool. Like it's, you know, a lot of times you see rose bubbles and they're overtaking a rock and it's got some height to it. In this case, they really just have to go sideways because the height of the bubble tip is pretty much the height of the tank. Okay, this is definitely different. This is a different tank here on Mr. Saltwater Tank Reacts. Is that a GSP island? No, it looks like a bubble coral or some kind of hammers here. Digging that, and they got the flame angel in here. I wonder how nippy that thing is. We got a lone rose bubble tip here that's surrounded by GSP. We've got a GSP wall in the making here. I'm loving how there's this ring. It's like a halo around the rose bubble tip. That's the bubble tip that's stinging the GSP. It's probably not killing it because I don't think you can kill GSP. Here's a hint, if you're killing GSP, you've got bigger problems. So it's like keeping the GSP at bay while the GSP runs down the wall. That's another interesting, whoa, 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 just noticed the clam. Holy cow, that is one huge clam. This is like half the height of the tank is the clam. That thing's got to be sucking down the calcium and the alkalinity. Holy cow, that's big. All right, okay, so personally, I would, if you can, assuming this thing isn't attached to a rock or the bottom of the tank, if I could tip it forward just a little bit, bring up the back just a bit so I get a better shot of the clam. That may just be the camera angle. But if I've got a beautiful specimen like that, I would just tweak that thing just a little bit, bring it up, let me have a better look at it. But that's one heck of a clam. I wonder how big it was when it was purchased and how old it is, if this owner even knows. Okay, so we've got no SPS in this tank, plenty of softies for you softy people. You should be happy about this. Some LPS in here. Okay, so, we're gonna go outside just a second. All right, so I'm looking at this tank. Let's back up to the beginning here. So we've got lots of rose bubble tips here on the right. That's super cool, gives it lots of personalities. I'm liking this hammer frog spawn garden here. We move over to some empty rock, which is nice. You know, some people would say every bit of this tank should be covered with coral. I'm okay with this rock here in the center that looks like it's mostly bare. It's gonna be a cool place to have fish perch, because they're not gonna perch in coral for the most part. Inverts, snails, things like that. It's gonna give you some viewing space. So I'm okay with that. We've got the clam here, and then after the clam, in my opinion, I'm gonna be picky here because this is part of the purpose of the show. After the clam, the tank kind of, it's nice over here. We've got a toadstool leather, it looks like, coming in, but it's like maybe even a tube worm there against the wall of the tank, but it's like I got all this cool stuff up to the clam, and then like I need something. I want something right there to the left of that clam, whether it be like an elegance, maybe another leather, you know, something to fill in that space. To me, that space has just got a little, it needs some help. It's not bad, but the rest of the tank looks fantastic. Let's put something in there to give that side of the tank a lot of personalities. Wouldn't do the rose bubble tips. Maybe you could do some sunburst. If the tank is doing well, maybe a long tentacle. But I just would like to see something on this side of the tank. Actually, you know what I would do? Looks like we've got a tube worm already. If that's a tube worm there against the side of the tank and it's doing well, I'd put like tube worm garden in there. Make the thing super unique. You don't see those a lot. Fill that space up there with tube worms. You get different colors, they're different sizes. That would be super cool. Now, keep this in context. Let's back up here. This is a good looking tank. There's nothing wrong with this tank. I'm looking at it going, it's really good. What would I want that's gonna kick it over to great? Again, it's really good, but I'm looking for the thing that's gonna make the thing jam up. I would like to see some coral over there on the left. The fish may be hiding because the owner's filming. Maybe some more fish in here as well. Give a little more motion with fish. We've got some bangais over here. Hopefully some clowns on those anemones. I see the flame angel. see a chromis as well, maybe some anthias, some dartfish, something to put some motion in the tank with the fish. All right, we're going to go outside now and have a look at the filtration, which looks like, I'm guessing, those two pipes come down, and then we should roll down here to the filter room. Outstairs, outside, downstairs, that's impressive, in a small room. This isn't a massive fish room that we might be expecting. Pretty tight in there. We've got a chiller. Hopefully that chiller is vented to the outside. Looks like this room's going to have some kind of ventilation to it, but if that's chiller that's on, I would like to see that thing really vented to the outside, give it lots of breathing room so it doesn't get too hot. Not a lot of working room in this space, but look, here's a way to have an outside fish room, have a fish room period, and it doesn't have to be huge. This person is doing the most with the space that they have. This was probably added on to the building, proving that you don't have to have something massive to have a fish room. It can be small, and look, even something this small, you're gonna be happier that you have this as opposed to having the filtration under the tank. All right, let's jump in here and see what this person has done with the space. Okay, first thing that's jumping out, let's back up just a little bit here. I like that they have these mats here. That's gonna keep the filtration off the floor, let it dry out some, as well as let some water run away. So that's a nice initial touch that I'm seeing. Got an Milwaukee return pump, which I'm a fan of. They do great work, great products there. Media reactors, we got a Dulua skimmer there. I'm wondering how that thing works. Looks like it's powered, at least the media reactor is powered by an Eheim filter socks, which looks like media down in their filter socks as well. We've got some biopads here. Always a fan of biopads. I like running those things. Looks like this person probably runs them whether they need them or not. That's certainly not going to hurt. And they got their filter sock here, the output from the media reactor, sitting on top of a media block, which isn't going to hurt for some added biological. Now, I'm curious about this filter sock on the output of the media reactor. I wonder if he has it there just because the sump had a filter sock. Why not? Looks like that's an add-on. Not quite sure why I would do a filter sock after the media reactors. If you're rinsing the media, then I would put the output into the bag, leaving it long term. Okay, so there's got to be probably a reason behind that. Me personally, I would take it off. Again, that's just me being picky. There's nothing wrong with it. This is how I'd run things a little bit differently. We got an Avast skimmate reactor there from the skimmer in case things overflow. We've got things up on a shelf. The skimmer's elevated here. We've got some supplements. Again, there's not a lot necessarily in this fish room, but it's working for this guy. Minimal supplements, which I like. It doesn't have to be complicated. Everything is clean. The fish room is clean. Look, again, it doesn't have to be super beautiful. This is functional. The tank looks great. Looks like, oh, let's see. Now, look at this. Even though he's just running one dosing line here, he's taking time to secure the dosing line. He's not just leaving it flopping around. Like, that's a nice little touch that shows me that this person actually cares. They may not have tons of stuff, but they're doing a good job with what they have, and they're proud of what they have as well. Dosing down. Look, he even put it into the bracing. Drilled a nice little hole there in the sump, in the bracing, and we back up so you can see it there. He's not just letting it flop around in the sump. It's actually secured. Even it's just a little hole that he passed it through. Again, a little attention to detail shows that this person cares about the setup. I dig it. We've got some redundancy here with an Inkbird heater controller. That's good. I'm glad to see that. I wonder how much heating this tank actually needs. It's got to be somewhere warm if you're going to have a fish room outside, so I'm curious how much heating it needs. Even if it doesn't need a lot, that thing is going to keep an eye on things. We've got a notebook of test results. It's just alkalinity, but hey, wrote down something. Look, I'm always telling people, write down your results. You want to be able to spot trends. Personally, I would do it on an app. It works for this person to do it on a little notebook that they keep in their fish room. Bravo. I'm digging it. Like to see that in action. Oh, we have a light switch. What's this go to? Oh, click it. Oh, rope lights. Rope lights in your fish room. Mood lighting. Hey, again, it works, right? There we go. Off go the mood lights. I dig it. I love how the switch is remote. It's not mounted. It's like, let's walk around and show off my switch. We got the media reactor. Looks like the calc in the back there as well. In the sump. Likely needed for that clam to help keep alkalinity and calcium stable. We've got a shut-off on the on the protein skimmer as well with the Avast shut-off. Those things work really well. Small fish room, it's tight in there, but he's getting the job done and he's taking time to do little things like securing that dosing line, shows that he cares. Again, he doesn't have all the room in the world. He doesn't have all the nicest gear in the world. I don't even see like an apex on this thing, but the tank still looks great. He's done some little things that stand out to me. That's cool. Okay, so I'll be picky here. Hang up the Renko temp controller. You've hung up everything else. Go ahead and mount that thing on the wall. But look, I mean, again, I'm really just being picky with this tank because, you know what, that's part of it. Like, it's not like I'm sitting here going, add more coral, other than that one section of the tank here. The tank looks really good. It's got a lot of personality, so I'm digging this tall, thin dimension. I'd like to see this tank in person, actually. It must be cool to look at. Again, just little tweaks. Take this tank from good, kick it way over into the great range.